following is a presentation of CBS Sports. Havana, Cuba is the controversial site for the 11th edition of the Pan American Games this summer. And many of America's top divers will go head over heels to make the U.S. team traveling to Cuba, including 1988 Olympic veteran Patrick Jeffrey and four-time U.S. platform champ Matt Scott. It's the Pan Am diving trials. Then, while most people are thinking summer, some folks around the globe are dreaming winter as IOC Chief Juan Antonio Samaranch names the host city for the 1998 Winter Olympics. And from San Jose, California, they may walk strangely, but man, they are moving. It is the Race Walking World Cup, and it's all ahead tonight on U.S. Olympic Gold. Well, in about a month and a half, we will be in Havana, Cuba for the Pan Am Games, which you'll see on TNT. Here tonight on TBS, you'll watch U.S. divers earn spots on the American team that travels to Havana. Good evening, everybody. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. And coming right up on U.S. Olympic Gold, it's the Pan Am Diving Trials from Princeton, New Jersey. We'll bring you the men's platform and women's 3-meter competition. Later, we'll let you know where the 1998 Winter Olympics will be held. The announcement was made earlier today. And you'll see the IAAF Race Walking World Cup, which ended in controversy. It is interesting, to say the least. Right now, though, let us head for Princeton, the Pan Am Diving Trials. John Neighbors off as we get the winter bid for 1998. Now, when U.S. Olympic Gold continues, it is off to San Jose, where they were picking them up and laying them down in the World Race Walking Championship. We'll be right back. And welcome back to U.S. Olympic Gold. Quick now, what is the country's #1 recreational sport? Well, the National Sporting Goods Association says it is walking, which is just past swimming. In fact, there are an estimated 71.4 million people who walk as a form of recreation. But few walk like the guys you're about to see. For 2 days this month, San Jose, California was the race walking capital of the world as more than 300 athletes from 30 countries met for the 15th edition of the Race Walking World Cup. Now, the World Cup is a prestigious competition held every 2 years and is second only to the Olympic Games and international race walking importance. To many, race walking conjures images of men and women fighting the Battle of the Bulge in neighborhood parks, but for these premier athletes who average under 7 minutes a mile, this is no walk in the park. There were 3 events contested here in San Jose, but by far the most interesting and controversial was the men's 50-kilometer race. A who's who of the world's best race walkers towed the starting line, among them Australia's 1989 world champ Simon Baker and the always menacing Soviet contingent who garnered the 89 world team title. A pack of 20 runners paced a conservative first 10K, but by the 20-kilometer mark, the pretenders were consumed by the contenders, led by a trio of Soviets. By 30 kilometers, a new face in the crowd, Mexico's sensation Carlos Mercenario, fought his way to the front of the pack, challenging the Soviet leader, Andrei Perlov. With 5 kilometers to go, Perlov decided enough was enough and cruised into overdrive past Mercenario, leaving the wilting Mexican in his wake with a speedy pace of 7 minutes, 13 seconds per mile. And a lead of 5 seconds quickly became 30 as the confident Perlov maintained his torrid pace. Though he earned 2 violations in the final lap, one for improper stride and the other for not keeping at least 1 foot on the ground at all times. A 3rd violation and he'd be out. And with only 2,000 meters left, that's exactly what happened. As a stunned Perlov didn't understand or didn't want to believe that he'd been disqualified with such a commanding lead in the finish line so close. So it was an unknowing Mercenario, now the official leader, while a confused Perlov raced to the finish, unsure of his disqualification and unaware of the IAAF official sprinting to the finish line, intent on stopping his pace break. The drama builds. Can you stand it? Will the official make it in time to stop the pace break? The answer is yes, by 10 meters from the finish line. And after 31 punishing miles on the road, to the dismay of Perloff, the Soviet team, and the crowd, he'd been disqualified for a third infraction. And when Mercenario and the Mexican contingent realized what had happened, well, then the celebrating really began. So the official results of the men's 50K had Mercenario setting an event record in the most controversial finish in meet history, with the 1989 50K champ Baker second and Germany's Ziegel third. The best U.S. finish was Carl Schuler in 31st. In the women's 10K, the Soviets reigned supreme as Irina Strakova proved her world title in '87 was no fluke, winning by 14 seconds over her Mexican opponent. Debbie Lawrence was America's top finisher in 15th. And in the men's 20K race, another Soviet, this time Mikhail Shennikov, garnered the gold, defeating Mexican star Ernesto Canto by only 3 seconds. The best the U.S. could manage was Tim Lewis in 54th. Yeah, it makes you want to do a few laps around the mall, doesn't it? Time now to return to Princeton, New Jersey in the Pan Am diving trials. The men head for the tower, the platform competition. We send it back to John.